It might not have been her. It looked like her. She was in like a green Lexus.
Oh. How was that? Okay. Well. Are we gonna start?
Think so. I'm gonna go in here. Just one more time.
Do we need a quorum? I don't have a quorum.
Yeah, we have 4 people. We've got 5 people. 4. Vanessa and Jan.
You're doing it.
Do we? Oh, because we're missing, we don't have the person right now.
Now I'm struggling with math.
One,
There are 8 voting members,
four.
and so there are 4
We
voting
need-
members present.
Yeah.
So,
We need 1.
We need one more. Hey, we're waiting on a quorum to start the meeting so that we have everyone here. Can you guys hear me?
Just barely.
Okay.
that's the microphone over there, and so that one's a microphone too. We can
Hey,
move.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can't hear you that well.
Okay.
Lauren, there might be a setting in your on the computer to increase the volume.
It's this little thing.
That's just the speaker.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
might be
the-
the setting.
Keep it audio. Great. Oh, and the audio is on.
Yeah, Zoom audio. That's
Click the little
this.
arrow next to audio. It's not using the right. It's not using it right now.
That was the only one.
That's
I could
right.
That's
hear.
the one that worked, I think.
That's right, that's the speaker, and then the microphone.
Test.
Is it not the
So
Kansas
I'll try
speaker?
that one.
Test.
Any better?
No,
Pretty far away.
What about the echo? Yeah.
How about that one? Any
Test.
better?
no, increase that volume.
It won't move.
Yeah, we may not let you.
Because you have automatically adjust, so you need to uncheck the automatically adjust. Can you
How about now?
oh.
Is that better?
I think there's a seal present.
Is that better, Jan?
Anybody?
Or no one can hear us now? Okay. I think we started with this one.
Can people hear us now?
Test. Yeah, go back to the original. Yeah.
I thought this was the original one.
The last,
Was it
microphone
this one?
rating is what you were using.
Okay.
Alright, sorry about the sound. Any better?
That sounds better a little bit, I think.
Tiny bit?
I'm going to use that use specific audio channel.
I don't know what the channels are.
Yeah.
Can anyone hear us better now? No.
I wonder if they're nodding their heads over here and we can't see them.
Okay, might as well check that.
Right.
This might be the best we have.
Unless we use computer microphone instead
Yeah,
of.
which we could do. If you mute that, I can.
Okay, let's try that. Cause you're logged in over here on yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, we're gonna test that. Yeah, we're gonna get feedback.
You might be muted.
Oh,
You might have to mute.
that's perfect.
Perfect?
Great.
Is it?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Alright. No, we're gonna get feedback no matter what. I gotta turn off the
Oh.
speakers.
Lauren, is
Can you
your
turn the TV?
Well, but we have to hear them. Shoot.
do you is your computer muted?
I'm not logged in on this
Oh.
computer. There's a computer on the TV. I sorry guys for all these technical difficulties.
Test, test. All right, can you guys hear me now? Yeah, but you better put the sound all the way down up there, don't you?
Now we can't hear that.
All right, go ahead, guys. All right, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to deal with the echo.
Yeah.
But we can't because we don't have a quorum.
We don't have a quorum.
Yeah,
So I guess it's not an official meeting,
So,
but we can still talk.
and we can answer the questions, we just can't
Answer the
vote on
questions.
anything.
It's not an official meeting.
So it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I can't deal with that.
Is there a mute button on there? I can sit here just mute on and off as needed.
Oh, on the TV? Yeah. Like as we're talking?
And
Okay. What's that?
I recommend some content to watch. To do a voice search, hold down the look. I recommend some content to watch.
Oh. We don't wanna watch anything right now. Okay. Well.
We're a great outfit.
I'm so sorry for the rough start to this meeting. But I guess we'll go ahead and get started if that's
Yeah, we'll call the meeting to order.
unofficial meeting
Yeah.
to order.
Meeting to order.
So we don't, artists, we don't have a quorum, so it's no longer an official meeting, but that's okay, we're all still here and we can answer your questions. Hello, I'm Lauren Krishnova, the one that's been emailing you. I'm gonna start off by just kind of going over our call for art and some of the highlights of that, so hopefully you've all probably read that, hopefully, a few times in the past month or so. So you should be pretty familiar, but I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. This might be a weird concept, but we're all in this meeting here together, but as a city person, I'm kind of considering it a pre-bid meeting where we get the people who have been invited to bid on this project all on the same page and able to hear the same answers to the questions. So that's kind of why we're doing this format like this. So as you're familiar, we would like a new public art project on our community center parking structure in the exterior and interior stairwells. We're hoping to beautify and transform this area and make it a very welcoming moment for those who are visiting our center. Here in Merriam, since none of you are from around here, we are a small metro in the Kansas City. We're a small city in the Kansas City metro area. We're kind of the gateway just south of Kansas City. So it's the first city that you enter on I-35 when you're driving south. We're about 4 square miles. We have 11,000 residents. Those who aren't super familiar with Merriam tend to associate us with IKEA or car dealerships, which is not our most favorite reputation, but that's okay. This here committee really hopes that in the future we'll be more identified by our love of the arts, so as part of this project.
Although I would say that those IKEA and those car dealerships are the very reason that we're able to do this in the first place.
Absolutely, they bring in a
So
lot of
they bring in the tax
support.
revenue and sales tax revenue that allows us to have this kind of opportunity.
Yeah, indeed. We're very lucky to have all of them. So some of the project goals, the committee I'm sure will speak a lot more to throughout this conversation here with you guys answering your questions. But at a high level, we're just hoping that this project will help spark some more pride among the community and get people to engage with art in a new way and really welcome them to what is kind of like the jewel centerpiece of community here in Merriam on our community center and library campus. Let's see. It is a pretty heavily trafficked area at the community center. Last year we had about 236,000 visitors, or visits, not different visitors, throughout the year, and the library probably adds even more to that. They've been open for almost 1 year now.
The library.
The
Yeah.
library,
Yeah.
yes. I don't have numbers for the library, but also highly supported, very loved among the community. A little bit of that is seasonal. People come in a lot more over the summer when the pool is open, the outdoor pool. There is an indoor pool too, but the outdoor pool certainly brings a lot more people into the building. As far as specifications go, if you have technical questions, those might be easier for me to answer over email because I probably have to ask somebody else to answer those questions, but I'm happy to try. The biggest one that our codes department really wants me to point out is that whatever project we do must be code compliant. We must maintain the structural integrity of the building and the structure. So if there's anything that is fastened into the walls that needs to be code compliant, we need to make sure that everything is ADA compliant, all those regulations. And also keep in mind the maintenance needs of the future project, as we hope to have it for a very long time. The budget for the project is $50,000, and that includes pretty much everything that you would need to do to complete your project. I just realized I forgot to hit record on the meeting. Let me remember where we do that.
I think it's, right there, top one.
Record. What is it about? Okay.
Okay.
Now we are recording, so.
And then we have a quorum.
Oh, and now we have a quorum.
I'm late. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But I'm here.
All right, welcome. I'm just going over the project specifications real quick, so super boring start, and we had a bunch of technical issues to really start the meeting, so that was really fun.
So right on time.
Right on time.
Very good.
Perfect entrance, Jordan. Let's see, where was I? Specifications, technical questions, your budget's $50,000. The next deadline for you guys is to have your proposal submitted to us by April 1st, and then we will present to this committee, hopefully with a much better functioning Zoom situation. We will do lots of tests before then on April 10th. We will invite the public to give us some comments and feedback. They're not going to be like voting on a winner, but we will invite them to provide some insights on what they think in that window between when you give me your proposal and when we meet again for the interview and presentation. And let's see, your site-specific proposal should include the overview of your concept, some visuals of the your proposed design. We also need you to include how you're going to use your budget and a timeline that you need to complete this project, as well as what a long-term maintenance plan will look like for your project if implemented.
Are all those things up to this point clear? Okay.
Okay. I saw shaking heads.
Have they received their stipends?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right? You guys all got your checks?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, good. That's pretty much it for my overview of this project. So now we will open it up for you guys to ask the committee questions.
Any one of you have a question, you want to raise your hand, and we'll just have you go and do your thing.
We have a question.
Okay? We'll start with Milagros.
I was wondering, what are the demographics like for the people
diverse community, both racially, economically, all of those items. Now, the exact statistics, I don't have those in front of me, but we are extremely diverse.
Didn't someone from the community center?
That was just the demographic of ages.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you took statistics from the community center. There's a breakdown of demographics somewhere in the master plan. I know the master plan is really long. But I can find that in there and let you guys know what page, that's on for you to look at.
Yeah, but it is definitely broken down in there. Same thing with, I think, our age demographics for the city are broken down in there as well. The community center itself gets every spectrum of our community in it, as well as people from outside of our community. You could tell from the numbers that you received, she stated earlier, about 250,000 visits a year in a community that's only 11,000 people. That tells you quite a bit. I'm Shawn McConnell, by the way. I'm the chair of the committee, just so you know who I am.
Thanks, Shawn.
I will say on demographics, one of the things that we have seen that has increased over the years is our Spanish-speaking population. So we've started providing some of all of our major publications we've translated into Spanish to help, communicate with that population. So that's our growing population.
Beth, I think you had a question next. You need to unmute. We can't hear you.
Give the power to the meeting. Let's see if I can do it, unmute. That's wrong.
Can she type in the chat if she, oh, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Okay, I was wondering, with the railings, are they flush to the wall, the ones that are on the wall? Or is there any sort of distance with a standoff or some type of mechanism that even if it's an inch or two, but is it flush to the wall?
I don't believe they are flush to the wall. I think there's about 3 inches of space.
It's probably closer to 4 for ADA.
There you go.
Yeah, there has to be up to 3.5 to 4 inches, don't quote me, but close to that for ADA grasp of the railing. So there's a standoff. We can get you the exact standoff though, right? Lauren?
Yeah.
You can send me a picture.
Yep.
More questions?
Curious about the programming that you all offer at the community center. I looked at the website, and I saw, and you just mentioned the pool, but I was wondering if there's any kind of like standout programs, or ways that the community center is utilized.
So there's like an art gallery there, so sometimes there's,
Start over. I didn't unmute.
there's an art gallery at the community center, so sometimes there are people visiting for that. There is a gym there, so there are exercise classes and just people coming in to use the gym, like working out, but then also like a basketball court, volleyball court kind of situation. The library has tons of story times aimed at children and their families, and possibly some other specialized events as well.
Yeah,
There's a lot of space for outdoor activities too, in good weather.
So we have every kind of program you can imagine, from Tai Chi to karate to dance to yoga, all at different times of day, to catch all ages and demographics. There's an ever kind of evolving number of different programs. As people want to put together a program, the community center is very quick to adapt to bring that program to the community center if there's time slots available. So it's a pretty diverse, even that is extremely diverse and changes annually. But you know, there are programs from for kids to seniors. So, and in often cases, it's 7 judo classes for kids to seniors, depending on the age group and time. So I keep saying that one, but I mean, there's dance, there's you name it, man.
There's also been some one-off events, like there was a DJ bingo, there was a Taylor Swift event, there was
Taylor was here?
yeah, so
It was a themed event.
themed events that the actual staff of the community center have been putting on lately, so they really try to get a diverse group of people in for those as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's like meetings that meet in the rooms at the community center.
Yeah, there's an orchid
Yeah.
group that meets to talk about and trade and grow orchids.
There's like
Basically,
Meals
anything
on
with details.
Wheels.
Meals on Wheels is based out of the community center for this area, which is I don't know if that's like a national concept, but.
It is.
Okay.
So I think, Cara, the biggest takeaway from our answer is that we got a lot going on. So there is no like one thing that really is a trigger in our community. It is a fairly old community, and I mean that by it's been around a long time. Not we're all old. We're all young at heart, no matter what. So it's there's no definitive answer there. There's just a lot going on.
Thank you. Could you speak a little bit about the history of the city and like the development?
To a degree, sure. So this is an older farming community from prior to Kansas City's major growth outside of the 1920s and 30s. So I think Merriam became an actual incorporated city
75 years ago.
75 years ago. We're actually celebrating that this year, so that's why we all kind of laughed at that. So that's when it became incorporated, but it was a smaller, ununified or unincorporated city prior to that. Started by the Loomis. The area was owned mostly by the Loomis family. There was a famous circus carnival theme park here.
Grand attraction.
Yeah, great attraction that has a lot of history to Kansas City. Not a single element of it survives today, but it is a pretty big part of the older history of Merriam. It brought a lot of tourism through the area, which is why it was kind of created in the first place, was to bring people through Merriam as they head out to Olathe or other parts of Kansas City through the Santa Fe Trail.
I would just add to that this park that was in like 1890. It was George Hessler's first park that he ever designed, which I think is kind of an awesome fact that is kind of unknown around here. But he went on to do all kinds of other major projects, including Central Park in New York. But he really got his start here in Merriam.
And he lived here too.
And he lived, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And also, there was a trolley line that ran through the city, now defunct, but we still have a railroad that runs through and bisects the city. It is a commercial, like, freight rail line now, not a passenger line, but that's a lot of the roots of the city were centered around the passenger trolley line.
And still everyday people's lives as the
Yeah.
railroad crosses our streets. It stops our traffic. But yeah, like the oldest history goes back to there were Native American populations here, and the California, Oregon, and Santa Fe trails all came right through this area and actually kind of split off into directions from this area. So there's a lot of deeply rooted historical.
Yeah. lot of that is evolved why our community is so diverse as well, is because it's just, everybody comes through here. Shawnee Mission Parkway and I-35, which is right in the middle of Merriam, is the most populous traffic location in the entire state of Kansas. So it brings through a huge amount of traffic on our major interstate going I-35 going north and south across the country. So, next question.
I was wondering if you would be able to possibly facilitate some kind of community engagement event or if there's support for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we did sort of like an open house for when we did the master plan, and the community was involved in that, so,
Be very serious.
yeah. Not the first time we've done it.
Basque, the sculpture Basque that's in front of the community center, that one also had a community engagement component of it where she, I think had community members like write down all kinds of words that they thought described Merriam, and those are the words that are all over that sculpture. So people enjoyed that, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think that both locations are equally trafficked, the two staircases, or at that time of year?
I would assume the outdoor ones get used a lot more during the summer, or warmer weather months. I just think the community center is a lot more popular during that time.
Depending on programming too.
Yeah.
We have overflow parking across the street on our municipal campus where City Hall and the police station are. And so people use the outdoor staircase during those times of events, like if there's a larger programming event.
Yeah.
Like a swim meet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like concert in the courtyard or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, in the parking garage internal staircase probably gets more annual year-round
Oh, yeah.
traffic than the outdoor one, obviously. But they both get a lot of foot traffic.
But it might be worth mentioning for people who aren't familiar with Kansas City, we get all kinds of weather, so we will go down to 0 degrees or lower, like we did this winter. And then in the summer, we'll go up to 100 degrees with 80% humidity. So Kansas City is a very automobile-centric city. We're very spread out. People don't tend to walk or ride or do much outside unless they get there by their car. I don't know if that helps at all, but.
These walkways are, that exact thing. People are parking their car in either the parking garage or across the street. They're coming through these, regularly, et cetera, et cetera.
I will say the exterior stairs get used very regularly by all staff for both the library and the city, as they connect City Hall and the police department with the campus. And I know a lot of library staff, they don't have any dedicated parking anywhere for their staff, so I'm pretty sure they instruct them to kind of park at the back of the top of the parking garage, so they are the ones that are always up and down those quite a bit.
Yeah. But the interior stairwell probably gets the same amount of traffic like year round, I would say, versus the exterior, it kind of fluctuates
Yeah.
more.
I would almost say I use the interior one more in the winter time because I would like to park on top where it keeps my car warm with the sun.
Yeah.
The exterior one gets a lot more visual impact in terms of there's a lot of traffic that comes both through the library, Circle Drive, and just drive in general to go into the parking garage. You have to go right underneath and right by the exterior staircase. So it has a lot more long-range visual impact, whereas obviously the interior staircase, you got to be interior. So it does get a lot of visual impact from a distance as well as up close. So keep that in mind.
I had a question. If we wanted to produce some of the agreed to like installation elements, do you all have connection to studio space or a facility to work out of?
Like the classrooms.
We're discussing that, that's an interesting question, never would have thought of that, but I get your
Yeah.
question.
This is hardly used.
Yeah, I mean,
For like,
there are opportunities for space for you to do, work that are not necessarily specifically related to the city. So yes, there's plenty of giant commercial space, that they could do things in with no issues.
let me get back to you guys on that one.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
We have a handful of possibilities.
We're not hearing you, Joey.
Oh, that was my fault.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Another question that's kind of related to that is there a ceramics community around there?
Yes. A very significant one, yes. We have a very large ceramics community here, not only because of the Kansas City Art Institute, we have the Kansas City Clay Guild. There are several offshoot clay guilds from the Kansas City Clay Guild. There are a number of, a very large number of potters in this community, as well as institutions to support them.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm assuming you're asking because of kiln usage.
Yeah, kiln and like just various directions it could go. We're not really like landing on anything specifically quite yet, but it's just nice to know ceramics might, if it might be a part of it.
Okay. Beth, I think you had a question. You raised your hand. Yep. Go ahead.
Wooden slats, are they gonna get a cladding? Are they gonna stay wood?
The outside of that.
Oh, the exterior structure, actually the entire structure is all concrete. It has like an imprint on it to make it look like wood grain, but it's all concrete.
I don't know if she's asking about the wood slats in the elevator.
Oh,
Yes.
interior.
Yeah.
Yeah, please get rid of those.
Please, yeah.
Please. Whatever
There
your
you
plan,
go.
we will not approve any plan that doesn't get rid of those.
Maybe it's the way I don't know that we can hear it.
Yeah.
I think we could put a 1 or a 2.
Beth, you were referring to the interior wood slats and the interior staircase?
But the elevators.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, she said it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we would like them to be gone, but I don't think they can be. I think they're tied to some specific,
Well, what Staci was saying is, they're part of the wayfinding, so if you stand back and look at them, they actually make up the number 1 and 2 of what floor you're on. But I have a feeling that if the art needed to occupy that space, we could somehow incorporate that number elsewhere.
I see. Next question?
We would have to, some way to transform that function. Would work.
Hey, Logan, you turned the camera off. I don't know if I wanna ask you this soon. The camera's off.
Camera went off. Oh. I'm gonna wake you up. There we are. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. The camera keeps shutting itself off on our side. Not that we're all that pretty to look at, but,
I know it's hard to talk public here.
okay. More questions?
Yeah, I was just wondering about weather and if, I know that you're saying you wanted it installed by October. Is that like when snow starts coming or like when it gets really inhospitable or like when is like an ideal time for installation on a project like this?
Well, that's a tricky answer. We can have 80 degrees in November, we could have 0 degrees in November. So, just within the last month, we've had, 2 days, one day was -7, and 3 days later was 65. So, it's wild. So, in this part of the country, we don't really plan construction around weather unless you're attempting to set mortar or set things that require temperature-specific epoxies, things of that nature. Then yes, you want to be done before October.
We also said October because of our 75th anniversary celebration is October 23rd. And so we wanted to hopefully have this project completed as kind of another touch point for our 75th celebration.
Sounds good.
It rarely freezes in October.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
I would say the cold usually is more reliably set in by December.
Yeah.
But you never know.
But I would still stick to Staci's statement of we kind of want it to be done by the 75th anniversary, so.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, more questions? Anyone?
Any other questions? No? I see you guys shaking no.
I would highly recommend, which I think some of you have browsed it already, but I would really do a deep dive in our master art plan. That gives the demographics as well.
Yeah, the demographics, just to answer your all's question about demographics, they're on page 14 and 15 in the master plan.
I think also, the interim report that our consultant gave us for the master plan has a lot more details on that I, in my head, thought were in the master plan, but now that I scroll through it, I'm not sure that they're in there. So I will send you guys a copy of that interim report, for some more details, for demographics as well. And all kinds of things.
She notes that we're more economically diverse than racially diverse by the numbers.
So I definitely dig into that as much as you can. We spent a lot of time and energy to develop that particular plan to be able to answer these questions pretty effectively. So take advantage of it, would be my advice.
Sound good?
All right. This is your chance.
Feel free to email me with anything else that you come up with, and I'll reach out to you guys, probably tomorrow with that interim report and a few other, details that you've asked about, and just to confirm some of the answers that we talked about. So.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you guys.
Vanessa and Jan, we still have a few more things to talk about. Do you want to hang out for a little bit longer? Cool. Okay. Well.
Parade parts, I think, is the next.
We have to officially call the
Sure.
Lauren, are you still recording?
Probably. I can probably stop recording, but I can't.
With quorum here, I officially call this meeting to order for purposes of voting, et cetera. Yeah.
Oh, it's right
It's
there
up
to
at
the
the
left
top.
of where you are.
To the left. Oh,
Just hit stop.
There we go. Sorry, not a Zoom expert. Haven't used it in a long time, so, okay. Did you just officially call me? Okay, cool.
Roll call, you can see which 5 people are present, voting members are present.
Yeah. Fantastic.
We all are human.
Everyone's here. from the general public. I'm just kind of planning on posting the proposals and having a general comment form, pretty open-ended, unless you want me to ask for any other specific.
Can you submit analog at the community center?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there'll probably be like a display poster with like a QR code to where you can submit comments, unless you want to do like post-it notes.
I was just thinking
That is
about
back.
Beth, did you have more questions?
Oh, is the audio?
I have to mute us so we don't have to.
Oh, cause she not here to say that now?
She heard, she
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
hear it, it's her volume.
Beth, do you have any more questions? Your microphone is muted.
Yeah, if you had no further questions, you can feel free to drop off if you had no further questions, Beth. You're muted.
Lauren, can she email you tomorrow if she
Yeah.
has any additional questions?
Yeah, of course. So the other artists didn't have any other further questions, so we went ahead and ended it with them, but I will reach out to all of you tomorrow with some of the demographic info that they were looking for in an interim report that our master plan consultant gave us, that has a lot of other details and insights in it, and I will just kind of recap some of the questions in that email, so you can look forward to that, and feel free to reach out to me with any other questions you may have. Sounds good.
Have a good night, Beth. I needed this. I'm gonna kick her out.
No, okay. Oh, there she is.
I think she needed help. Technology.
All right, back to our official meeting. We were discussing community engagement.
Yes. Did you have other?
I was just thinking from like an accessibility standpoint. I know most people have devices, but
Yeah.
just maybe not everyone. So, and then is there any way we could do something at the like, I don't know how the library feels about us like having something there, but like, just cause
It's also.
it's,
space,
right, exactly.
Yeah, I can ask.
Just a reminder.
Type over here too.
That's my, I mean, that is my, as a non-voting member, as a council member, part of this
Mm-hmm.
committee, so I don't know if everyone else feels the same way, but.
I mean, it makes sense.
Analog.
Yeah.
I have no opinion because I didn't think about them because they don't own the space. So. Not that I'm against it.
And
just
then from a
didn't think
community
about it.
engagement
Yeah,
standpoint,
yeah.
just like if you need an analog component or,
Define analog component, please.
like having a card at the desk if someone doesn't have a device to scan the QR code. It's an
Sure.
accessibility,
Oh, okay.
it's
Yeah.
accessibility.
I got
Yeah.
I mean, yes, most people have devices, like I said, but.
Some people might not follow through if they have to go. like-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or also like, if
Yeah.
my son, like if someone's child wanted to, like, you know, just to
Yeah.
like get the full range, right?
Yeah.
Or
We can do that.
technology's hard for some people, so, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just have like a stack of cards and a thing to collect them in.
Yeah.
As an option, actually.
I should mention to people who are still on Zoom, I'm having to turn on and off mute. So if you have a comment that you want to make, you might have to guess it's just Jan.
Vanessa's-
Oh, Vanessa, sorry. You might have to get our attention by waving your hand or something, so I can
If we can
unmute.
Otherwise, we get feedback. Loop.
I think we have to approve the minutes, we haven't done that.
Thank you.
Yes.
You would be correct. Yeah, we kind of got thrown a kilter with that.
Yeah.
Did everyone have a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Yes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of February 13th, 2025?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no nays, the minutes are approved.
Fantastic. Okay.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm just stretching.
So back to it.
For their final presentation and interview at our next meeting, I think it would be helpful for us to have a set list of questions for all of them, as we typically do, and to provide them in advance, especially in case of any sort of technical issues, to them. So if you guys have any specific ideas on questions you want to make sure get asked, or
Email them to you?
yes,
Okay.
things like that, please email them to me. One that I was considering that I want your guys' input on is, since, you know, we have more in our budget available, if you'd be, and pending what you see in their proposed designs, would be to ask them if they were given an additional whatever amount, what would they add or change? If you guys wanted to, if you felt inspired by their project and wanted to be.
I think that would be a question I would be prepared and want to be able to ask if we liked what they had enough to want to ask it.
Right.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
But
think it's
will,
an interesting question.
will the next meeting be done on Zoom?
Yeah,
Okay.
their presentation will
The
be.
glare in here,
Yeah, we
Makes
kind of,
it
it's
impossible.
insane.
yeah, and I think we'll have to have the meeting in the community center.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Just to deal with
Yeah,
that.
I can only see like half of it on the
I
screen.
Yeah.
have an angle over here, I've got.
I can see it better, but I see a lot of glare.
I'm with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
when you're over here, you like really can't
There's
see
no
much.
shades for those, so, okay.
No, there's not.
Like the community training or more of the community center.
I'm glad you guys mentioned that, because that would not be fun.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, the one
Once I
that-
get
Yes,
to
you're
it.
all
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
We could all.
Maybe, but-
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll figure it out. That was really,
Okay.
possibly related or just unrelated, something that was brought to my attention to share with you guys. If you remember, on the old Irene French Community Center, on the side that faced Merriam Drive, there was a mosaic on the wall
Mhm.
there that we saved all the pieces from, along with a lot of the stone from the building. So,
Who made the mosaic?
I have no idea.
Just curious. Yeah.
Not a clue.
I don't know if it was part of the architecture drawings or not. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, it's
Yeah.
brick.
Is there a picture of them?
It's like,
But my
it's like
memory
a
is
barn
fading.
kind of look, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And I thought we saved them to, it doesn't matter.
To potentially do something right now, they're sitting at Public Works. This is the only picture
What is it?
I could
It's
find
like a
in
barn,
my
like-
quick search.
Yeah, people that is crazy.
So like the,
Yeah.
oh, it's got.
Was it just a geometric design?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, those pieces are available for us to do something with at some time, if we want, if not. It
Something
might
to think
just
about.
live at Public Works.
We talked about just historic data, because I was the chair of that committee. We talked about saving them for, because there's supposed to be hopefully some sort of development downtown eventually, right? So we just talked about saving them for something down there, like on that
said they say stones, a lot of the stone for the building? Or is it just, and
The cornerstone pieces,
the,
right?
Yeah,
With
the
one-
1911 portion of the building, the oldest one.
Yeah.
was like, this,
Yeah, they
there's,
did point-
I think there's a
points.
good,
A few tons.
yeah,
Or, yeah.
there's a good amount over it.
Yeah, but is the mosaic like put together or is it
No,
just
they're
all
just
pieces?
pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can we just like put it together for the birthday party? Is that a possibility even or?
Here's a puzzle.
Yeah, right.
I have a feeling that'd be, it would just seem like there may be
Okay.
issue with, saving, and then also, like safety, like what are you gonna put it on?
I mean, you're asking too many questions.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen the pieces, so I don't know, I was just told they exist and could be used.
I think they're paletted and probably wrapped.
Okay, so that's up there. Also for this process, I will be checking all their references between when they give me their proposal and meet, and then I'll let you guys know how that goes. I really just kind of see their proposals before I call people in case there's anything that I have questions about based on their proposals. So
Sure.
that's my plan.
Okay.
That's all I have on this process. Do you guys have anything else?
Not on this specifically.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, I do have one question. He did ask about, space, to be able to work on things in a larger space.
Sorry.
Does it, I mean, I have space, I mean, 20,000 square feet of unused space, that they can take advantage of, it's lockable.
Okay.
So, as long as there's no weird conflict with that, I mean, I don't see why there would be, but, that is available to them if they need a space to work and to store things.
Okay.
I think there would only be a conflict if you charge to kind of rent.
I wouldn't, I think it'd be free.
Yeah. But I don't know.
You didn't even enter my mind, to be honest.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we probably just need to check with, like Ryan.
Yeah, that would be my assumption as well.
That's fine. That's awesome.
'Cause I mean,
Thank you.
we're-
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because why would
Yeah.
the city try to find the space or
Well,
accommodate
have
that,
them
if I
use-
have it, no one
Or
might
have
use
budget
it.
for
Yeah.
it.
is it close by?
Yeah.
What's that?
Is it close by?
It's right next to Shooty Lumber.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's right behind Shooty Lumber.
Southwest
That's
corner.
awesome.
That's
That's
okay.
true. And that'd be a really fun area for an artist to be
Uh-huh.
working.
If you don't have some problems.
Okay, so, he knows legal, that's okay.
Yeah.
In case they need it.
Yeah.
Frankly, if he needs a kiln, I've got a kiln. I have a 45 cubic foot kiln in my house, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
My other thought on that is the potential facilities that, the city has purchased that are on the slate for demolition, or not demolition,
Oh, yeah, that would work, yeah.
the library.
The library and
And
Did
there's
they have
there's
power?
something
They have
downtown.
power.
the church.
Oh, yeah, the church and,
I like this still do.
They have to.
Yeah, until they, sure.
marble things.
Until
We
they-
don't own that. I mean, they're renting it.
You're renting
so.
it. Or leasing.
Oh, right, okay.
The church and the library.
Church and for library
Okay.
are still standing.
But that's also a legal thing.
Yeah. I'll ask. Questions asked.
I bet that one would be a hard no. I'm confident it would be a hard no.
Especially the church, I think.
The church is
Start to
super
do
cool.
I know. Okay, so then moving on, I think your next item is the parade park sponsorship, is that correct?
Yes. There's something pulled up here. Hopefully you read the thing, had a lot of details in it. So, Parade of Parks is taking a hiatus this year in 2025, and changing up their shape for next year, which they just unveiled, and is essentially, it's like a circle with a heart cut out of the middle, and the base is rounded this year, or for next year, in ellipses.
Yeah.
So that's their plan. They're also supposedly saying that 2026 will be the last year of Parade of Parks. That, like, the idea behind the cutout was that it, like, makes it more photogenic for people to, like, you know, get in the art and, interact with the art. It's supposed to be a symbol of unity, to welcome guests from around the world. They will be placing 150 around the metro area. They're in the early stages of this planning process, so they're hoping to have all their sponsors committed by April 30th, which is what this is about, whether or not they want to be a sponsor once again.
What percentage of that money goes to the artist creating?
I do not know.
It is stipends, but I don't know what it is.
So I saw that it was $10,000 to like be a sponsor, right?
Yeah.
I thought the amount that the artist got was like vastly lower than that, so I was.
That's one thing that bothers me, but,
Yeah.
I mean, and I know that there's a certain amount of controversy around this particular subject. I know that Margaret would adamantly want me to say that we should do it. She doesn't love them, but she thinks they're an extreme, you know, she talks to a lot of the people in that age and demographic, and they love them, they go to them, they take pictures at them, and she's like, it's ridiculous for us not to take advantage of that. So,
Like guarantees we get one in Merriam too, right, if we sponsor?
It technically guarantees it, but the committee selects the location, and one of our staff members is on the committee, and this here building is one of the only visitor centers in the metro, so it is an ideal location for this specific type of event. And if this specific building weren't selected, Grand Station would be another great location, as there's a lot of restaurants and businesses and things that people can patronize right in there. So Parade of Hearts does tends to have like a pretty dedicated following of people. Like there are people who will go to every single part.
And I think that's where, you know, Margaret kind of swayed some of my thinking was the fact that it does bring a lot of people, and she was able to prove that to me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you know, I see the validity in that. It engages people. I don't have to like everything. I mean, we've all said that before. We don't have to like everything, but if it provides the engagement, people enjoy it, it makes them ask questions, then it's a win. Even if you don't personally like it.
Doing what public art is supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
It's bringing people
That's it.
art in different locations and, you know,
Yeah.
getting them engaged with different artists that they might have ever had the access to like do a project like that or, you know, see a project like that. I know that they're, I don't know if people listening.
So I think does anybody want to speak to any of those items? You know, do you have thoughts, concerns, you know? Because I know we're going to be voting on whether we want to support this and put $10,000 towards this. So now's your chance to speak to it, for, against, neutral, otherwise, but you're also going to get a vote. So, anyone?
It brings people in, it's worth it.
All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that conversation?
Seemed like you wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're going to, will we vote on that the next meeting?
No, it'd be this meeting if we can.
Oh, it's this meeting we can, okay.
Yeah, because we have a quorum.
Okay.
You do.
I feel neutral on the subject. I've never bothered going to visit any of the arts except the one we have. But I see a lot of people that I follow go to all of them. So I know they're very popular.
Yeah. I always get excited when I randomly come across one that I had no idea was there, but I've never intentionally like tried to follow it. But oh, that's just my
Well, my thinking is for $10,000 we should get a heart. And it's,
Well, we would have to agree to it knowing full well that we may or may not.
I think part of it is, I'm on the video and attend the meetings, so I don't know for sure, but I don't know if they're like capping the number of sponsors they have or not. I would guess they're maybe not, and this could be a very popular year to do it because of World Cup, so.
There's 150 I agree with Jared, I think it would be awesome if we got one, because I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, we're right on the highway, we're gonna capture a lot of people, I hope, coming through Merriam.
It would be nice, but there's no
Yeah.
quick little program.
Then you said they're gonna be different, will they be about the same size?
Mm-hmm.
They will be about the same size.
Do you have a picture?
I can pull one up if you give me a second.
Okay. Stand by.
I mean, if anyone else wants to see it, I saw it on the seats.
They just posted it on Facebook the other day. Yeah, it's so tiny. What's happening?
I've heard of those things.
What?
Facebook.
Oh, LinkedIn. I don't do that.
Okay, great.
Quick.
I saw a lot of people that post
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's it. You want this show?
Just go to,
For that.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
That's the new one.
Oh, I get it.
Can you copy this link and put it in the chat?
Yeah.
It seems like maybe the pedestal is more of a pedestal than before.
It was a very, like, hard rectangle pedestal.
can you not share your screen?
Or that? Looks like wooden down.
Yeah.
Wait, go back. It's over there in the corner. Just hit the arrow.
There we go.
And then if you hit the green arrow in the bottom, you can share your screen and just show it exactly. Let's do that.
Choose the screen.
There it is. That's what it looks like.
Undecorated.
So just imagine Lauren, Vanessa, and Jan in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All that being said, everyone's had comments. Do we want to vote on this now? I mean, we can push it to the next meeting, but we'd rather not because there's some urgency to get that to the program. And we're gonna be pretty doggone busy in our next meeting, making a decision on an artist. So, do we wanna have the vote now?
Before I vote on this, so it's not guaranteed is what you're saying, I'm a little confused on that, you're just donating to the whole thing?
We would be
Yes.
sponsors for the whole thing.
Mhm.
That is not a guarantee that they will put one in Merriam.
Last time we didn't get one?
Yes, because one of our staff members is on the committee, and the committee helps decide, so that gives us good hope.
And
So-
we sponsored it? Yeah.
Okay.
And it also puts our name on like all of our marketing materials and all the, like, the city of Merriam.
So
and
we
our logo.
don't, so we're guaranteed that, right?
Yeah.
We get a lot, we get a little bit of publicity.
Yeah.
Correct.
That was,
That was good.
I unmuted too early.
I saw our logo was still on the website for last year somewhere, but I don't know. I'm not gonna try to find that right now.
Yeah,
It was there.
there's like a supporters tab on the website, and yeah, there's probably 50 or less
I think all our names.
supporters from last time.
Names.
All right, well then I'm gonna propose that we, vote to support or not support the public art proposal for Creative Arts sponsorship of $10,000. Any other comments on it before we vote yea or nay? No? All right, all those in favor, please say yea or raise your hand.
Yeah.
Yay.
All those. Raise your hand if you're, raise your hand. Okay.
Did Jan raise her hand?
Yeah, Jen's not voting. She's not voting. You're not voting.
Is she frozen?
She's frozen or she's sitting there? Oh.
She has something.
Oh,
You're-
no.
Jan, you're muted.
Click on the chat.
I just typed all those, so make sure you respond there.
Oh, they're
It's a-
talking, we're muted.
Please say what you said again.
Are you talking with Vanessa?
It looks like Vanessa's talking. From my
Did you say
Fairness.
something, Vanessa?
Can you hear us?
They can't hear it.
Oh, it's because I had this muted.
Oh.
Back and forth. Sorry. We're trying to see if we can hear Jan. She's disappeared. You can hear us, though, right, Vanessa?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
There's Jan.
Yeah.
Jan, what happened?
Jen, we're trying to figure out if you said anything and you are muted.
She's still on the screen.
Oh, there she is.
I can't see if she's on the screen or not.
She's over.
Oh, yeah, she's up there, yeah,
I think we're good.
yeah.
Jan, what did you vote?
Yeah, she's got a bad line there, I think.
Yeah, oh.
Is that a yay? Yes.
Yep, Jamie, unmute.
You have to unmute your.
Thumbs up?
Jan, thumbs up for yay, thumbs down for nay. No.
Okay.
Yay or nay? Oh,
Here
there
she
she
is,
is.
okay. Jan, did you vote yes or no?
Yes, I did.
Did you vote for or against?
Should've done this earlier. Yes, she voted yes.
I think she voted yes.
We can't think.
Yeah, you're right.
We may have to put this off till next week.
Here, you want me to, can I text her or something?
She's unmuted. You don't have to-
It is. Jan, can you tell us if you voted yes or no for the hearts?
I voted yes.
Yay!
All right. The day is safe.
Okay. All right,
So that means it passed.
it passed. All five voted yes.
Okay.
Finally, I just have a few quick city updates for you. Later this year, the Tim Murphy Art Gallery will host a Hispanic Heritage Month exhibit. And one of the artists who applied to be for our project here, who is local, and she identified herself as a Mexican American woman artist. We just invited her to participate in that exhibit. So, yay, we knew about her, and she's still going to come do something here and there because of that. So, I thought that was. What's her name? Socorro Reyes Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So not for this project, but again, more local artists. So that's exciting. I also reached out to Matthew Donners.
The humorous.
Just to let him know, since he's a community center member and very engaged with our community, that we still are interested in doing something with him at some point. And he responded, and he's very happy to hear that and open to other possible ideas if and when we're ready. So that was nice as well.
Good.
Let's see. Our Hearts Across Merriam is going very well. The video introducing it, I think, across all the platforms or whatever, had about 5,000 views. So people are very excited about it and totally loving it. So
Finding them?
finding them, yes. I suspect they may have been found before we posted it at Chat Lane. A handful of them.
One
I
of
think
them.
it was a few days after we hit them that we posted, and people were already like, I can't find them.
Well, so my wife and I did it and we had a blast doing it. and we saw one woman found one, and it wasn't even that obvious where it was. She found it within like 5 minutes. Well, it was behind a fire hydrant that was way off the path between it and a water access point, on the ground. I think it's because I think her dog went over there, and she spotted it because her dog went over there. But and I went 2 days ago to see if one of the other ones was found, because I could see it from without having to get out of my car, and it was gone. So I think they have been found, at least 3 of them that I know of, but.
When I looked at the posts today, most of the comments were like, we looked and couldn't find anything, no luck. Like every single comment. So I was like, they must all be gone, and the people just post about finding them. So.
I don't do social media.
Yeah, no, I don't either, so I don't blame you. I've been like, yay. Also, very exciting. Derek finished all the hearts already. And so the new batches are all kinds of colors.
Oh, sick.
Wow. And a few different shapes. Just grab a few of them for you.
I didn't see that was able.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's got an instinct.
Oh.
Sweet.
Yeah, nice.
Those.
Where you see this? There you go. It's like yellow and blue
But
marble.
this one is.
Okay.
I think that's the end of it. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So some of them have a 10 stamp to it.
It's hard that you can't, I'm not gonna translate one of those.
Attempt to show it close up to the camera.
These are
Very cool.
Another.
So he's not making these in a roll, he's just like,
I'm loving them.
he's just loving it.
He did some that were skid blown. The first one, they're attempting to use one mold that he didn't like, and then he found a different kind of mold that he did like, and so a lot of them are kind of big,
Oh,
but
really?
they're still different
Yeah.
and like slightly,
Like, unique.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like if Karen didn't tell me that, I would not have realized that they were made with mold. So, yeah, that's very exciting.
So if you haven't hidden any yet, I'd recommend doing it because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good.
Where's it,
Yeah.
where's it going for
Our next batch will be Waterfall Park for April. So if somebody wants to do it, I know you wanted to do Turkey Creek.
Yeah, when is that? May?
That is September.
The last
The
one.
South of Marketplace.
Oh.
I'll do 2.
I'd be happy to not do it again. Oh wait, hold
I
on,
can do
Vanessa, hold on.
waterfall.
This time.
Vanessa, we missed what you said.
I said I would be happy for her to come up and actually do it this.
Okay. Well, I will mark you down for.
I picked up the slack.
Waterfall Park is awesome too. So excited.
All right. Good deal. I will, would you rather get them from the community center or city hall?
That's not me. Oh,
Yeah, that's you.
sorry we missed that.
You're muted on our end.
I said community center.
Okay.
It's up to her.
I will take them over to the front desk there. I will bring you guys the letters at some point.
All right.
Maybe they're in my car. I don't know. I thought I brought them. All right. That's all I have.
Okay, that's it from city updates. Any other items from the floor from anybody? Nope. All right, I think this meeting is done. Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second. All right. Jan, Vanessa, we'll talk to you two later. Have a great evening.
Take care. Have a good meal tomorrow, Jan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just going to this fabulous Indian restaurant in Manhattan. Because it's holy, HOLI.
Yeah.
It's celebrating tomorrow. And they apparently brought in a team of chefs from India for this.
Oh, cool. Oh, my.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really good, I ate there once in Japan. It's really good. Really, I mean, amazing stuff.
That was extremely
Stressful?
Zoom experience.
Yeah.
Is the Zoom experience at community center better?
We don't have a Zoom setup over there, so I'll have to figure something out.
I thought we had a camera.
I brought one over from City Hall when we had Julia there a few times.
See, that was before I
And
was on.
they tested all this prior and it worked great.
Yeah, maybe I tested on Tuesday and it was like, works, cool.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah, it's a lyrics problem, so.
Yeah.
So.
And my thumb hurts from all the meeting is unwilling.
Hard go.
We came you were thinking about the letters and I think you just forgot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, give it back to John. I was like, give it back to someone. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Getting some light out.
Yeah. Bye all.
Stacy and Steve are walking up.
I know, at one point the community center was supposed to have Zoom ability. Something we learned in our board meeting room, in the French Center. And when we were planning on the stuff for the new building, I brought that up as an improvement.
Yeah. I know. They don't have an easy way to do it right now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I almost feel like this is should be moved over there. It's going to be used more over there. But
I mean, I know they wanted this space for a lot of like company, event use, which I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's used.
not as much anymore.
Used to.
Like we used to have a lot of things in there. But it's kind of died off. So,
Demographic, hotel,
yeah. Well. Okay.
Have a nice night.